What I loved about Pokemon in general was this kind of fantasy universe that was just outside of kind of normal life. When I was a child, I didn't really know that Pokemon was from a different country. It just felt like it was part of our culture or our universe. It wasn't until later that I understood this as a Japanese kind of universe. And I think that sort of speaks to its kind of global appeal and its global nature. So a lot of my work really involves kind of integration of things from everyday life or popular culture. So it's natural to bring in Pokemon into my kind of universe, right? And a lot of my work is about imagining a future in 1,000 or 10,000 years that contains the remnants of this kind of era, this culture. And so when we think about these kind of significant icons, right, of an era, Pokemon fits into this moment in time. And so what I've done is I've been granted access from Pokemon to all of the character designs, brought them into the studio, and then we've resculpted all of them in clay to achieve a different level of physical detail. And then I'm blowing these works up into a larger scale in bronze. I mean, I think the greatest thing for me about working with Pokemon directly is to have their access to the direct knowledge about all of the characters. A lot of the time when I'm working with things from everyday life, there isn't necessarily like an artist or creator behind it. It's a kind of utilitarian object, like a computer or a cell phone or something like that. In this case, there is somebody who kind of sits behind that as an artist, and that's a different type of collaboration. So the fictional archaeology is really an idea of taking all of the objects from our present day and imagining as if we were an archaeologist in the future and looking at these objects from our everyday life or our everyday experience. And I think that there's something kind of prolific and very kind of impactful about trying to step outside of our own time frame, right? It gives us a perspective on our own experience, our own lives, and through these works, I hope to be able to kind of shift people's understanding about time in general. So these objects look as if they're kind of falling apart, but they're made of a material like crystal that we associate with kind of growth over time. So there's a kind of ambiguity in the works where you don't know whether they're falling apart or whether they're actually growing together. And that idea about using people's perception of time is something really kind of important in the works. I think, imagine Pokemon in 1,000 years from now and imagine it as relevant to our era, as anything else that exists today.